The first show that we are going to explore, I'm not going to talk about. In fact, the person, or actually I should say one of the two people that wrote the chapter for the book for us, is going to talk about it. He is a brilliant genius, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the brilliant genius that was known as Gilbert and Sullivan. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some Gilbert and Sullivan people here tonight. Yes. Hello, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Award winner, Rupert Holmes.
The good news is I'm not singing tonight. But the song I sing, Michael just played. Thank you very much for that. I thought I was going to have one evening where it wasn't mentioned that I'm the guy that wrote and sang Escape, better known as the Pina Colada song. If you like Pina Colada, yeah. I mentioned that to someone over there, and they said, oh, really? And they said, now, you know, I won't be able to get that stupid song out of my head all night. I would actually like to begin the evening by singing a medley of ballads from 50 musicals that didn't make it to this book. No, my brother Richard and I, Richard Holmes, you'll meet him any moment. You'll meet him in 3 minutes. My brother Richard and I actually wrote one of the very earliest chapters in this book. And it was about Gilbert and Sullivan's first major musical, HMS Pinafore, which opened in London in 1878, and opened at the Fifth Avenue Theater and at 29th Street in New York City in 1879. It was immediately a gigantic hit here. If you can imagine it, there were 8 full-scale productions of HMS Pinafore running in New York City within a 15-block range. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Can you imagine if there were 8 productions of Cats in Midtown? Andrew Lloyd Webber can imagine that, I think. Yeah, but perhaps my brother and I think we came to the project writing about HMS Pinafore with great affection and admiration for Gilbert and Sullivan. My brother qualifies completely as an expert because he has performed the entire Gilbert and Sullivan canon, all 13 operettas all around the world. Incredible accomplishment. And in particular has, I'm going to betray something, he has performed the role of Captain Corcoran in HMS Pinafore for 40 years. He began as an embryo, and he has performed it with the New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players, and is just a great proponent of that. I qualify, I guess, because I wrote the very Gilbert and Sullivan inspired musical. I wrote the book and score. It won Best Book, Best Score, and Best Musical, called The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Thank you. Which apparently is the 51st key stage musical of all time. Just fell short of the cut. Susical inched it out. Susical, Rob.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Stephen Lynn gave me money. I'm very sorry.
And by the way, talking about Edwin Drood, 10 years ago, right now, 10 years ago, the Roundabout Theater produced an amazing revival of The Mystery of Edwin Drood right above our heads at Studio 54. Incredible production. And I'm pleased to say that next month, the Roundabout Theater is going to be doing my new adaptation of Pirates of Penzance on Broadway for one evening and hopefully more. As a teenager, my brain was infused with Gilbert and Sullivan and opera for one reason, which was that I was like 16, and I would be in my bedroom trying to either do homework or study or something, and all I could hear was my brother playing Gilbert and Sullivan and Puccini as loud as he possibly could in the living room. And thus I was infused with all of that musical background. I tried to steal from Puccini, but Andrew Lloyd Webber's kept suing me. So, Richard's passion for Gilbert and Sullivan was a fantastic heritage that I received. I can remember being his teenage chaperone when I took him to the old Met, the old Metropolitan Opera at 39th Street, when he auditioned to be in the children's chorus there. And he sang Turandot from memory. He didn't have any music with him, and he became a member of the children's chorus. How old were you?
Well,
How old were you? Yeah.
40.
And he became a part of the Met. He became a part of the Met and never left. Tonight, I just want to make sure I know what you're singing. Yes. I've been privileged to see him take bows on the stage of the Metropolitan Opera, at City Center and Symphony Space, in Gilbert and Sullivan works, and now I finally get to see him at 54 Below, where he's going to be singing first as Sir Joseph Porter, Admiral of the Queen's Navy, and then as Captain Corcoran, Captain of the HMS Pinafore, both classic roles that he's portrayed here in Manhattan. There was once a movie called that Gene Wilder starred in, called Sherlock Holmes's Smarter Brother. Would you please give a warm welcome to Rupert Holmes' smarter and vocally superior brother, my beloved mentor, Richard Holmes.
When I was a lad, I served a term as office boy to an attorney's firm. I cleaned the windows and I swept the floor, and I polished up the handle of the big front door.
He polished up the handle of the big front door.
I polished up that handle so carefully that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
He polished up the roof so carefully that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
My lovely assistants. As office boy, I made such a mark that they gave me the post of a junior clerk. I served the writs with a smile so bland, and I copied all the letters in a big round hand.
He copied all the letters in a big round hand.
I copied all the letters in a hand so free that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
He copied all the letters in a hand so free that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Feel free to join in on the choruses if you want. In serving writs, I made such a name that an articled clerk I soon became. I wore clean collars and a brand new suit for the pass examination at the Institute.
For the pass examination at the Institute.
That pass examination did so well for me that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
That pass examination did so well for he that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Of legal knowledge I acquired such a grip that they took me into the partnership, and the junior partnership, I ween, was the only ship I ever had seen.
Was the only ship he had ever had seen.
For that kind of ship so suited me that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
That kind of ship so suited he that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
2 more verses. I grew so rich that I was sent by a pocket borough into Parliament. I always voted at my party's call. I never thought of thinking for myself at all.
He never thought of thinking for himself at all.
I thought so little. They rewarded me by making me the...
He thought so little they rewarded he by making him the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Now, landsmen all, whoever you may be, if you want to rise to the top of the tree, if your soul isn't fettered to an office stool, be careful to be guided by this golden rule.
Be careful to be guided by this golden rule.
Stick close to your desks and never go to sea. And you all may be rulers of the Queen's Navy.
Stick close to your desks and never go to sea.
And you all may be rulers of the Queen's
Navy.
Now, Equal time. I just have to say that wasn't I really smart in my choice of brother? I mean, I think this was the greatest achievement of my life. Rupert was a wonderful help and support to me, and dealt with my Gilbert and Sullivan fixation, not so much the opera fixation, but the GNS fixation he loved. And many were the days that he would sit at the piano. His voice was starting to change, so he would sing the men's roles, and I was still a boy soprano, so I would sing most of the female roles. And this was fine until we actually went over, we were going on the Queen Mary to Europe, and they announced that there was going to be a children's talent show. And so I thought, oh, this is wonderful, a chance to sing some Gilbert and Sullivan on this, which was fine, except for the fact that, consider my repertoire. Well, they asked me what I would like to sing, and I offered them two choices, and they were two songs that every red-blooded American 9-year-old boy really wants to sing. I'm Called Little Buttercup. And 'Tis Done, I Am a Bride. And people wondered why I didn't join the Boy Scouts. Maestro, music. This is from HMS Pinafore. Captain Corcoran stands alone on the quarterdeck and sings of his troubles to the unconscious moon. Fair moon, to thee I sing, bright regent of the heavens. Say, why is everything either at sixes or at sevens? Say, why is everything either at sixes or at sevens? I have lived hitherto free from the breath of slander, beloved by all my crew, a really popular commander. But now my kindly crew rebel. My daughter to a tar is partial. Sir Joseph storms, and sad to tell, he threatens a court-martial. Fair moon, to thee I sing, bright regent of the heavens. Say, why is everything either at sixes or at sevens? Fair moon, to thee I sing, bright regent of the heavens.
Bravo. Richard and Rupert Holmes.